Welcome back. I noticed today that there are some new bots, once again, on chess.com, and I'm going to start playing them. I don't know if I'll make it through all 5 of the new bots, but I'm going to do my best and get as many as I can. I do know that it's not recommended to play bots in order to improve against chess, unless you're doing very specific things. And one thing that I'm doing against the lower rated bots is I'm just trying to play solidly and see if I can spot their early mistakes and blunders and then capitalize on those. And if I'm focusing on that very specific thing, then that might help me later on. Now, once I get to the higher rated bots, I don't know how high rated these 5 go, but then I have to be even more careful and maybe I'll learn something either way. I have been checkmated by very low rated bots. Hopefully that won't happen here. I'll just be as careful as I can. I believe these are based on a new and upcoming movie, Super Mario Brothers. These are the Super Plumber Bots. The first one is Boshi, rated 400. It says Boshi is everyone's favorite dinosaur sidekick. Can you defeat them on your path to ruling the chess kingdom? Each one of these has a face that looks a little bit like a chess streamer that's not related to Super Mario Brothers, but I'm not certain. For example, that one looks a little bit like Fabio Caruana. That one looks a little bit like Gotham Chess. Not certain about the 2 women. And this one looks a lot like Hikaru Nakamura. Oh, it only goes up to 1400. So I might be able to beat all 5. Let's just choose that one. I will let the computer choose the colors and then click play. Okay, I got the white pieces. Let's do our best. All right, we're going to get the Queen's Gambit. Are they going to accept it? They did accept it. Okay, knight to c3. All right, I'm pretty sure this aims to protect this push so that that pawn will protect this. I think in that case, I can go ahead and take the full center. Should I try to do something like this? I know they could take that way, but then I could get this out. Or if I should just go ahead and develop normally and then try to castle. I have a defender on that pawn, so I'm not too worried about it yet. Let's get this bishop out and castle. I have not yet noticed for sure a mistake on the bot's part. As far as I know, this is a completely normal Queen's Gambit accepted. Okay, are they trying to protect an e4 push with that pawn? With that knight there? Or are they trying to protect this square for that pawn to come forward? I don't know, but I think I can prevent both of those by pushing this pawn. I know that opens up the bishop here. Or should I try to push d5, hoping to open up the center while their king is still uncastled? Maybe that's what I should do. Oh, you know what? That allows the knight into these 2 squares. Okay, that's weird. The queen going way over there. I think I want to go ahead and start chipping away here at the pawns in front of that undeveloped king, or that uncastled king. Now I can hop in here. Oh no, that knight's defending that square. Well, let's not do that. How about develop this bishop to that square? And then hop in here. Okay, the king has moved over. Let's go ahead and put this knight here since their knight is currently pinned. Okay, now that protects that knight. But I think I can go ahead and take it, can't I? I think I can. Oh, I can also win the rook here. Which one should I focus on? That's a good question. Good question. Should I try to win the rook right now, or should I press my advantage against this piece? I think I should press my advantage. After I take here on d7, I assume that the bot will take back with the other knight, which will then be pinned to the king. I can edge my queen up just a little bit and put in a rook in behind it and be preparing to checkmate at that point, depending on what the bot does. I don't think I should be worried about that pawn push now because that knight is pinned. So if they push the pawn, I can just take. And if they unpin their king somehow, perhaps with this, I could just take that too. So I'm going to move my queen up, preparing to put a rook behind it, aiming for that square right there. Okay, it looks like they're allowing me to do exactly that, but they are coming for this bishop. But I may have time here. Let's just see how this works. Okay, they did nothing to guard against checkmate. So that is the end of the game on move 15 against Boshi. I am going to run the game review just out of curiosity to see if I made any mistakes. If I did make any mistakes, I will check very quickly to see what I should have done instead. All right, the game review does say that I made a couple of mistakes. I'm just going to look at those and see where they were. Oh, I had 3 great moves, though. 3 great moves. No brilliance, but they were interspersed with my mistakes. So after I made the great move of taking this pawn, the bot took there, which says was their best move, and that was a mistake. Okay, so I had a much greater advantage here, and I should have done something else besides get the bishop out to f4. Should I have gone ahead and pushed this pawn? I have no idea. I'm going to click over to the analysis board. Knight to g5 is what I should have done. Knight to g5, and it says they would have played knight g to f6 at that point. Okay, because that would have been preventing the check. Oh, because that not only opens the path for this check, it also threatens this pawn that they really can't defend right now. Actually, they could defend it, couldn't they? But they wouldn't, it says. Okay. Well, I do see that that opens the path for my bishop to check, but they could have easily blocked that check with the g-pawn. And I also see that moving the knight here aims at this e-pawn, but it also looks like they could defend that e-pawn very quickly, so I'm not convinced that that's really great. It says my second best move is knight to d4. Okay, that's here. That's also aiming at this pawn. Okay, so that tells me that that pawn is really important. And that also gets out of the way of this, I guess. I'm really not sure about that. Neither one of those is really convincing to me, and e5 is my third best move. But bishop to f5 was not good. Okay. And my second mistake came after this great move, which was attacking the pinned piece, and then my opponent put their knight there. And it was a mistake to, no, it was not a mistake to take that knight. That was excellent. They took back. That was a mistake. I thought it was a perfectly natural move in order to line up the rook behind it, but it says, in the interest of saving time, that I should have gone ahead and checked on g4, and it says they would have moved the king over. Why wouldn't they have blocked with the bishop if I had checked here? I thought the reason I didn't is because I thought they would, yeah, it says their best move is to block with the bishop. And then I would play queen to d4, which leaves that bishop hanging. Wait, that says bishop to g5 is a blunder, did it? Oh. It didn't say bishop to g... Okay, it said bishop to g4, not bishop to g5. That's my bad. So bishop to g4 was my best move, or h5. Okay, again pointing at that pawn. But bishop to h5, my second best move, would not have pointed at that pawn. It just would have cut off some squares available to the king from over here. But bishop to g4 would have just hit that pawn. And, oh, also it would have pinned that pawn. I see now. I see, because they can't move the knight. That knight on d7 is stuck. So they couldn't move the knight to defend that pawn now, and then I could attack it. So they would have to do something else. Okay, so if I played bishop to g4, which is what the computer suggested, they would have to move this bishop up to defend the knight. Nope. It says they would move the king over one. No, it says they would... Their best move is to come up here, but then I would check. And then they can't block with the bishop. And then they would have to go back. Then I would play queen to d4. Yeah, I don't understand why any of those were better. Okay. Let's close out of that, and I am going to move on to the next bot. The next bot is Fabigi, which makes more sense. It probably is based off of Fabiano Caruana. It says that Fabigi is a hardworking Italian-American plumber, although the flag is international rather than United States. But it says he is Italian-American and a plumber. In another universe, he might have been one of the strongest chess players in the world. Well, let's choose that one. Let the computer choose the colors. I got the white pieces again. Again, we will wait for the computer to blunder and try to play solidly in the meantime. Queen's Gambit, are they going to accept it? No, this one is going to decline the Queen's Gambit. I think I will play knight to f3 now, and then see where they want to put that dark squared bishop. Okay, they're switching to the Slav defense triangle system. I do know that if I play here, it's very common to bring the bishop out and pin that knight, but it doesn't seem incredibly dangerous. And I can prevent that by pushing this pawn, but then they can play b6 to get rid of that. So I think I will just play e3, protecting this pawn with this bishop and also preparing to move this bishop out. Okay, that seems unusual. It also looks like it's inviting me to put this knight in here. What happens if I put that knight in there? Do they play this knight here, knight to d7? No, they played there to prevent the check. That's okay. I'm going to push this pawn here and then bishop. Not a pawn, is it? That looks pretty easy to attack, right? I can just push this pawn forward. That seems like the best move here to force that queen to move again. It moved back one. Okay, I guess aiming to come out this way, but I am going to castle. The rook has just moved over one. I'm pretty sure that's a mistake, but again, not entirely sure how to capitalize on it. I know I can check, and if they move that pawn forward, I could take, but then they'll take back, and then their rook is guarding that square too. Okay, so that's probably not the best idea. I can get this knight out, but where's it going to go from there? Or I could get it out here and try to work it around this way. Is that a good idea? To try to hop that knight over there? Oh, I guess it would be aiming... No, that pawn's defended. I really don't know. But I am going to get that knight out, and then I'm going to try to get this bishop out over here someplace. That is aiming for there, I assume, so let's stop that from happening. Okay, now that, I think, is inviting me to check. Is it not? Because now that pawn will only be defended by the rook. I think I'm going to... No, that space is oh, but if I check here with the bishop and they take with the knight, then I can take with the queen. And if they push forward, then I can take that with the knight. Is that right? I could be way off, but I actually want to hold off on that. Wait, I can put my knight in there now, which would keep that pawn from coming forward. But then what's my knight aiming at? Also, that allows the queen through this way in case they want to hop in this way. Maybe? Though they don't want to hop in there now because of my bishop. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I still want to finish development also. Let's do this. Get my bishop out, and then I'll try to attack over there. Okay, the queen has gone back. Gonna get this bishop out, which adds some support here. I know it's not really pointing at anything. It just adds some support. Okay, that is really inviting me to come in here now. I'm gonna do it. Well, now I can check here, but what good would it do, right? Let's try it. Their king is just on this. Wait, is their king trying? No, it's not trying to go over there. It's trying to go over there. Okay, well, let's do this. See how this breaks apart. They did not block with the pawn like I thought they would. I kind of want to come in here with the bishop, like there or something, since the knight didn't take it. Oh, their rook has moved? Okay. How can I get that knight out of there? I can't get to that knight, can I? Oh, wait. Can I mate in there with this knight? Okay, now their bishop's guarding that square. And if I go something like this, then that bishop's not defended. Oh, and now my knight's in the way, so my queen can't get over here. Very interesting. Well, should I bring this knight back then? Or bring the bishop back? I kind of want to bring the bishop back. I feel like every time the computer makes a move like that, it's telling me, oh, you had a great opportunity, you just didn't see it yet, so I'm giving you another chance. And that may or may not be true. Still feel like I put this knight in the way and I shouldn't have. What if we got it back out of the way and then put my queen in there? Yeah, let's do that. And then I'll work on putting the queen over here. I feel like I'm getting myself all tangled up here, but let's attack that bishop this way. Well, that's very something or other. I'm looking for things I can do here. I guess I could take that and then check here once the king takes back. Oh, the knight took back. Okay, well, now I can check here. Yeah, the king couldn't take back. I think I can check here and then put this knight in there. Is it a good idea to put this knight in here? What would I be aiming at from there? At least those two knights will protect each other in case I need to retract my queen. Oh, wow. We are getting really locked up in here. Okay, I can't go there because the queen can just take it. The bishop can just take that. The queen or the king could just take that. That pawn is still protected. Should I be trying to break through over here? I don't think that knight has a way around into my stuff either. It doesn't have anywhere to go. Oh, it can go there. Well, let's start advancing on this side. Maybe I can come around in this way. Oh, okay. Wait, no, if they move that pawn, then I can get that. So I don't think they want to move that pawn, do they? I have no idea, but I'm going to try to break through over here. Oh, they did that. Okay. Well, let's take here and then get me a free pawn this way. And then that looks spicy in there, and the knights would protect each other. Let's see. Where would the king be able to go at that point? The king would be forced to go here, but then I couldn't check very easily from there. I could double check, but then they would win that knight. Wait, what if I went this way? The knights would then protect each other. Then the king could go here or there. And then I could always check by coming back. Oh, also this knight's under attack right here. I just happened to see that just now. Okay, well, let's go back this way to protect the other knight and to hit that bishop. See what happens. Okay, they've moved back out of the way of that. Can I push this pawn now? Should I bring this rook over and start pushing this pawn? I think I should. They need to defend against that somehow, don't they? Well, their knight's defending that square, but now my knight is defending this square. Can I maneuver my bishop in there somehow? I can maneuver my bishop right here to point at that square. Let's do that. Now my bishop's cutting off all of these. Okay, they're aiming at my rook. I see that. Check here. That would allow the king to come out, but then I would have a discovered check. Let's see, they don't have anything guarding that square except the queen, right? So the king would have two choices. If it went to the corner, I could go there and check, and that would be mate. But if it came out here, then I move the knight out to d5. That's a discovered check from my bishop, and then I'd win the queen. So I think that's a good move. Okay, it did come out there. So I can go here, to discovered check from my bishop, and then I win the queen. That looks right. Check. Win the queen, and I assume that's coming. And then, okay, now their rook guards that square, so I can't quite go there yet, but I can go here. They could block, and then I'd have to go back. Okay, so not quite yet. And their bishop is still pointed here, but now I am up the queen, and my knight is hanging. So, should I move the knight in order to... No, I should move the rook, right? I don't know. I can also put this knight here, let them have my rook, then check there on f6. Oh no, their knight's guarding f6. Should I go here and try to get rid of that bishop? Is that bishop's guarding these two pawns? No, if I did take the bishop, that would just even up their pawns, maybe. Okay. I can't advance that yet because their knight. Oh, wait. I was worried about their knight guarding here. Maybe that is what I should do. All right, you know what? I'm going to save the rook. Let them have my knight. I'm going to put the rook behind this passed pawn right here. They got a little worried about the passed pawn. Now what can I do? Can't quite attack that rook yet. And my knight's still hanging. Go there and come back here aiming for that bishop, but then they would get my pawn. Yeah, you know what? I don't think that's bad. I could actually even go here and threaten the rook from there, maybe. But this bot is doing much better at defending this quote-unquote lost position. I can threaten the rook from here, but that doesn't... I would rather threaten the bishop, especially now that they're not aiming at that pawn. Where's the bishop going to go? Actually, the bishop has a couple of safe squares down here, or all the way back. But if the bishop goes back after I threaten it here, then that knight's no longer defended. I like that. I am going to threaten the bishop and see where it goes. Oh, actually, that's its only safe square. Oh, they went after my queen. Well, that kind of hurt my feelings just a little bit. I didn't want them to go after my queen. That's a safe square too, isn't it? That looks a lot like getting my queen trapped, but it is a relatively safe square. That pawn's currently undefended because they moved their knight. No, that pawn is guarded by the bishop. I may need some help with this. Okay, but the knight is pinned. Is anything guarding this pawn then? Because I would like to take the e6 pawn, threatening that knight, and threatening checkmate, as a matter of fact. That's checkmate. Okay. That took me 40 moves. I know I made some mistakes in this one, and/or blunders. I am going to check. Well, the game review says I did poorly. I had only 65% accuracy in this game. I had 5 misses and 2 mistakes. My first mistake was playing a3. I was worried about the knight coming into b4, but apparently I shouldn't have been. The move I should have played was f4. Or I should have just taken it with the bishop. Now that Stockfish has had a chance to think about it, I should have just taken it with the bishop and damaged their pawn structure. Wow. See, I kept thinking that there was something to do with this diagonal, and I got really distracted by that. And then when that knight came out, I wasn't even thinking about going this way with my bishop, because I was thinking about going this way with my bishop. But it definitely says taking that knight with my light squared bishop would have been my best move, and f4 is now my third best move. Knight to d3. Oh, bringing this knight back? Well, I guess that would have defended that square. So that's what I should have played here. Instead of that mistake, I should have just taken it. Yes, okay. Next. That was a miss. Oh, it said I had a +5. The game review says +5. The analysis board says +3 advantage here. Again, should have just taken the knight. Or played knight to g6. Okay, I eventually did play knight to g6, but it was, wow. A couple of moves later, I did play knight to g6. After that miss, which wasn't that bad, really. So instead of this, which would have been +3, this was only +2.5. So not really a miss, just more of an inaccuracy. But anyway, they played a mistake, and then I put my knight on g6, but now it's not a good move. If I had done that a second ago, it would have been a good move, one of my best, but now it's not. Now I need to play bishop to h5 check, and it says they would have moved the king. See, I think if I had played this, they would have blocked with the pawn. Yep, no, it's changing its mind. They would have either taken it or blocked with the pawn, I'm positive. If they had taken it, I would have taken with the queen, and then they would have blocked with the pawn. So I don't understand how that's a big advantage. I really don't. But that's what it says. Bishop to h5, check here. But instead, I played the knight, which would have been my best move one turn earlier. So I'm not too worried about those two, because they don't make any sense to me. Okay, that was best. That was an inaccuracy. It was my best move 2 turns earlier. Okay, well, let's go to my next mistake. I can't be worried about the inaccuracies. Okay, it says bringing that knight over was a mistake. Is this where I should have brought my queen over? See what the lines say. Bishop to g6. Oh, it says I should have put the bishop back here. Or played e4, which I'm pretty sure they would have taken one way or the other. No, e4's gone now. b5. What? Nope. b5 has dropped a little bit now. Or f3. Those are my best moves now. Okay, well, I don't understand why any of those are better than what I played. The only thing that I think is not great about this is that it got in the way of my queen eventually coming, which my opponent got the knight out of the way, but said that was a mistake. But see, I thought that was their best move because I was planning on bringing my knight here. And then it was A great move to put my bishop there. Okay, well, good for me. That was a mistake. I kind of thought it was, and that was a miss. Okay, they haven't developed the symbol to put on the board yet, but over here it says it's a miss. Okay, well, what I was doing was putting it back to get out of the way of the queen, but instead, I should have played knight to f7. Oh, that actually would have been pretty good. I would have got the rook. Okay, because they would have, I assumed, got their queen out of danger one way or the other, and then I would have won their rook. That makes sense. Well, I totally buy that one, +9. Okay, I missed that. I did that instead. They made another mistake, and again, I'm guessing again I should have played knight to f7 because it was a miss. Yeah, we're just going to say knight to f7 would have given me +9. All right. But I didn't. I did that instead. Still have a +4. That was a mistake. Wait, was it knight to f7? Yeah, because knight to d to f3 was a miss. So I'm guessing I should have played bishop captures f5. And they wouldn't have taken... Oh, no, it's changed its mind. But it says if I played bishop to f5, they would have just played g6. And then I would have just taken... Why wouldn't they have captured here? If I had played this. It says that their best move is to play... But if they play that, I can just take that one of two ways. Probably with the bishop because it's in danger right now. But why wouldn't they take? Oh, because of mate. Wow. That's why that would have been brilliant. And that's why this was a mistake, because I'm setting up mate here by getting out of the way of my queen coming in here for checkmate. That's why they would have played g6. And I assume I would have taken it with the bishop, and then they would have brought their bishop back to threaten the knight. No, now they would have played queen to e7, protecting this square. Okay. But that was the miss because I should have taken that not free pawn, but setting up a mate. Okay. That was a mistake because I could do that. That was a great move. Okay. Oh, I had one more miss way down here at the end. It says I had a mate in one. Wait, I did? Oh, was it here? Because I went there looking for the queen with the discovered check. But if I had gone here, the king couldn't have moved, right? No, that's not a mate in one. Oh, the king could have moved. Wait. Okay, so that wasn't the mate in one. Where's the mate in one? Oh, there. Nope, that's not the mate in one either. Okay, wow. I'm pretty bad at this, apparently. Knight to d7. That's a mate in one. Because the bishop's protecting this, so they can't take. They can't come here because of my queen and can't go here because of this knight. Oh, wow. So yeah, I had a mate in one right there, and I missed it. I also had a mate in two if I had played here, but then they would have taken, and then I would have played there, and it still would have been a mate in one because their queen would have been in the way here, so the king couldn't have moved up, even though my queen wasn't guarding that square anymore because their queen would be in the way. Wow, I had a mate in one and a mate in two, missed both of them, and instead played that. And they were able to move out of the discover check, but I got their queen, which at that point was excellent. And I did okay for the rest of the game. Wow. It says you had a pretty competitive game there. The opening was balanced. The middle game battle was fairly even. Wow, it says I played that game like an 850. That's a little bit of an insult, but I guess I'm just not that good at chess. And the bot played like a 650. Well, the bot is rated 600, so I would have expected it to play in the 600 range, but I would have expected me to play in the 1300 range. I'm not sure why it says 1357 down there. I think that's my daily rating, but usually it puts the rapid rating down here, so not sure. I'm going to play the next two bots in a separate video because this one took so long. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this. I clearly made some mistakes and didn't understand my attack down there on the king side and the corner. If you did understand it or have some tips for me to understand those positions, feel free to put those in the comments, and we'll see you next time.